Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Yashar Allah. Call Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakakodash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Akwam that's keeping the faith and the work. Y'all keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more quoted precepts. Scripture says, blessed are your ears for they hear, blessed are your eyes for they see. Roughly, speaking about Matthew 5. But we blessed in our oppression, and we blessed to be able to see past the oppression and look into the blessing of the kingdom. And not everybody has that. I'm speaking this for a reason because I had a conversation with a young man today, and the young man basically asked me, how does one give them, how do you give your life over to the Lord? And he was speaking more so like, the Christian aspect, where, Christianity tell you to, say the saying or whatever, where it says, give your heart over to the Lord and now you're saved and whatever, the saying that they have. And I was telling them, no, it's deeper than that, bro. I went, into scripture, Psalm 119, where it says, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his ways, by taking heed to the word of the Most High. And like I said, it was a blessing to know, to be able to give the answers to the questions that he was questioning. He gave me quite a few of them, but it was a blessing to be able to answer that question, and not just on some I know and he doesn't, but more so on he wanted to know, and the Most High sent that young man my way and used me to give him an answer. And the young man was really listening, to the answers that was being given. But like I said, it's a blessing to have that mind of understanding, have the spirit of understanding, have the spirit of the fear of the Lord, to be able to give a proper response to individuals who have questions. All right, and like I said, it's not proud. It's not on some, I'm proud that I know this and not. No, it's not that at all. It's the fact that another individual heard the gospel, and they wanted to hear the gospel at that. Now, whether or not the young man changed his ways and he take heed to the word or not, that's between him and the Lord. But the Lord gave him an answer. And I can recall myself being that young with questions and nobody to give the answer. Right? When I was his age, which, the boy couldn't have been no more than about 15 years old. But when I was his age, I had questions too. And this was before YouTube and before the internet itself. And yeah, I'm that old. But I had questions because I would always wonder why our neighborhoods were how they were or are how they are, and why everybody else's neighborhood was totally different. I was wondering why we treat each other how we treat each other and nobody else treats each other like we do, with the hatred and, the conniving ways and so forth and so on. But I couldn't get those answered. I couldn't get those questions answered until I became a grown man, and the Lord sent me, to a prophet. And the young man that I was speaking to today, he asked me, once I heard the gospel, how long did it take for me to, get it and to start to make changes? And I told the truth. I said it was instant. Now, does that mean that as soon as I heard the word that I just completely cut out everything? No, I had to learn different things to cut out. But what I did know at that time, what I did find out at that time, I instantly cut it out. I can remember me having a cross on my neck when I was hearing the truth. I had a cross on my neck, and I had a military Bible, which is it's a somewhat like a Bible. It don't have all of the precepts in it. It's more so focused on Proverbs and Psalms. I remember when I first heard that gospel, man, I put that book away and went and bought myself a King James version, but instantly took that chain out. Instantly threw it in the trash. Instantly. Right? Because my questions were being answered. The questions that I had my entire life were being answered. So in essence, the Lord was answering my prayer. Right? And something else I was telling the young man, if you hear this gospel and you don't change, like scripture says in Revelation chapter 22, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. Right? Your true spirit is going to come out when you hear that gospel. When you hear the gospel, man, if you're a righteous individual, it's going to take effect. You're going to want to stop. There ain't going to be no debate about it. It's not going to be a question of, is this real or not? It's instant. Right? And if you're a wicked individual, you're going to question it until you can't question it no more. Then you're going to continue to question it. Or just say, bump it, I'm going to live my own life and do whatever it is I want to do. Right? But basically what I was telling the young man was, it got to be in your spirit. The Lord got to put it in you to want to change and to actually change. That has to come from the Lord. Right? But like I said, man, even though it's hard to see the blessings in the midst of all of this oppression and in the midst of us being, in the daughter of Babylon at the bottom of society and, going through all that we go through, we still have to recognize that we're blessed, man. And the reason why we're blessed has nothing to do with a paycheck. Ain't got nothing to do with how you look. Ain't got nothing to do with who your parents are as far as prestige in this earth. Sound like silver spoon babies. But it has everything to do with who we are and what that relates to, or how that relates to, our power. Right? We are a special people. Right? Like I said, I was going into that as well. The history of us as a people being hidden and the reason and why. Right? It's just a blessing to be able to explain that, bro. Because like I said, I remember myself at that age having so many questions and going through so much drama and it feeling like there was no out. It feeling like, what was the purpose of me being on this earth? Like, I don't know if you ever felt that way. Whoever is listening, whoever is watching, I don't know if you ever felt like, why am I here? But I know before I came into this truth, that was a constant question going through my mind. Because it wasn't like I wasn't trying to do things. I was trying to do things, but it would just not work out. And I was always wondering why. Right? Why are my people how my people are? Why are we like that towards each other? Right? How come every other nation treat us how they treat us? How come we got to switch up who we are in order to make them, these other individuals, comfortable being around us? Right? And if you just being real, there's only so much of that can be done, it depending on the spirit of the person. Right? And I always had a problem with it, man. Right? So like I said, man, it's just a blessing to be able to teach one. Because that's what it says in the book of Hebrews, bro. You have to be a teacher, bro. You're not learning this truth just to hide it. Right? It says that in scripture as well. Right? basically like speaking about putting the candle under the bed. You don't do that. You let your light so shine so that the world may see. Right? And the Most High blessed us with the light, which is knowledge, which is wisdom, understanding, right? Real love, for a reason. So that we can shed that light on others, man. And like I said, it's a blessing to be able to do that, to be chosen to do that. It's a blessing, man. Right? So I end with that, man. I guess you can call that a spiritual rant. Call Haloyam La Yahweh Ba Sham Yahweh Shai Ba Shama Rokakodash. Yahweh Sham Yahweh Shai Ratazah. These quoted precepts in this video were edifying. Shalom Yasha Allah.